Global brands are moving fast, all chasing one name, Alex Eala. In less than 72 hours, her face was everywhere, not because of a Grand Slam win, but because of a raw, unexpected moment that didn't just trend on social media, it changed her career forever. This is the story of how one viral explosion turned a rising tennis star into the most wanted athlete in the world. At just 19, Alex wasn't supposed to be here yet. She was still a prospect, whispered about in tennis circles rather than shouted in stadiums. Her talent was undeniable, but talent alone doesn't make a superstar or turn a name into a household fixture. For years, she grinded through challenger tournaments, ITF circuits, and qualifying rounds, proudly representing the Philippines and carrying the weight of a nation that hadn't seen a globally dominant tennis star in decades. Every match meant more than rankings. It was about inspiration and proving that a girl from Manila could stand toe-to-toe with the world's best. Her journey demanded sacrifices few her age could imagine, marked by early mornings, late nights, and life lived on the road. A junior US Open title in 2022 hinted at her potential, but the leap from junior success to professional dominance is brutal, and for Alex, every win felt like a national celebration while every loss felt unbearable. Despite suffocating expectations, modest sponsorships, and limited media attention, she never complained and never showed weakness, living in that uneasy space where potential means everything and nothing at once, waiting for the one moment that could change it all, unaware that beneath her calm exterior, that moment was already approaching. Something was building inside her, a fire, a hunger, a readiness for the moment that would define her. Alex Eala didn't know when it would come or how it would arrive, but deep down she knew her time was coming, and when the world finally turned its eyes toward her, she wouldn't let that moment slip away. She couldn't. Too much was riding on it: her dreams, her country's dreams, everything she had worked for her entire life. The quiet before the storm was ending, and what came next would shock everyone, though no one could have predicted how it would unfold. It began in a second-round match at a WTA 250 tournament in Southeast Asia, not a Grand Slam, not even a premier event, just the kind of match that normally barely makes the sports pages. Alex, ranked just outside the top 100, faced an experienced European opponent in the 60s, a matchup that looked winnable on paper but ignored the role of momentum, emotion, and the unpredictable moments that shape careers. The first set was tight, with both players holding serve, trading heavy ground strokes, and testing each other's patience. Alex stayed composed, her movement sharp and her strategy disciplined, choosing her moments rather than forcing the play. The mostly local crowd, there specifically for her, erupted with every point she won, their energy electric as she fed off their support. She captured the first set in a tiebreak, punctuating it with a fist pump as the stadium roared, but the second set was different, as her opponent adjusted, hit deeper, took time away from her, and slowly allowed errors to creep into Alex's game. Errors began to creep into her game: a double fault here, a missed forehand there, and the momentum slowly shifted. The crowd grew nervous, the tension thickening with every game. Alex fought back bravely, breaking serve to level the set at 4-all, but her opponent immediately broke back, and suddenly the match was slipping away. At 4-5, serving to stay in the set, Alex faced breakpoint matchpoint. Everything she had worked for in the tournament came down to a single rally. Then came the moment no one would forget. Her opponent struck a return that clipped the baseline, or did it? The line judge called it out, and the umpire initially confirmed the call, but her opponent stormed to the chair, demanding a review and pointing emphatically at the mark on the clay. The umpire climbed down, inspected it, and after what felt like an eternity, overruled the call. The ball was in. Match point stood. The crowd erupted in protest as Alex stood frozen at the baseline, hands on her hips, staring at the umpire in disbelief. What happened next was caught by every camera in the stadium. Alex didn't yell or smash her racket. Instead, she walked calmly to the net, looked her opponent straight in the eye, and said something quiet but piercing that would be lip-read and dissected millions of times in the days to come. She then turned to the crowd, raised her hand, and smiled, not a defeated or bitter smile, but one that said, "I see you, I hear you, and I'm not backing down." She returned to the baseline and, on the very next point, fired a clean ace straight down the tee. The stadium exploded. Alex held serve, forced a tiebreak, and won the match in dramatic fashion. She went on to win in straight sets as her opponent crumbled under the pressure, but it wasn't the victory that made headlines, it was the moment itself, the look, the smile, the quiet defiance. Cameras caught it from every angle, capturing her composure under pressure and her refusal to let controversy shake her. Within minutes, the clip was online. Within an hour, it was trending. Within 24 hours, it had surpassed 10 million views. The world had just discovered Alex Eala, and it couldn't look away. 48 hours, that's all it took. In less than 2 days, she went from a promising young player to a global phenomenon as the courtside moment spread like wildfire across every social media platform. TikTok creators dissected her body language, Instagram fan pages shared slow-motion edits set to dramatic music, and debates erupted on Twitter over the call, her reaction, and whether she was a hero or simply fortunate. One thing, however, was undeniable. Everyone was talking about her. The video crossed 30 million views across platforms within 48 hours, prompting major sports outlets to take notice. ESPN featured it on SportsCenter, the tennis channel ran an in-depth analysis of the match, and international news sites published headlines asking, "Who is Alex Eala?" And the moment that made a star, as her Instagram presence began to explode. Her following skyrocketed from 200,000 to over 2 million in a single weekend, her name trending in 15 countries as she became, almost overnight, one of the most recognizable faces in women's tennis. And it wasn't just the tennis world paying attention. Athletes from other sports began reposting the clip, with NBA players, NFL stars, and even celebrities who had never publicly talked about tennis sharing it with captions like "Ice in her veins," and "This is what a champion looks like." The crossover appeal was undeniable. Alex had transcended the sport, becoming a symbol of grace under pressure, composure in chaos, and a young woman refusing to be intimidated, and people loved it. As the media frenzy intensified, journalists scrambled for interviews, morning shows called, and podcast invitations poured in, but Alex didn't rush into the spotlight. She stayed locked in on the tournament, advancing through the next 2 rounds before eventually falling in the semifinals, handling even defeat with the same calm confidence that had gone viral. In her post-match press conference, when asked about the moment, she didn't gloat or criticize her opponent or the umpire. She simply said, "I trusted myself. That's all I could do in that moment." The quote instantly became a meme, a motivational poster, and a rallying cry as the viral wave continued to build. Fan edits flooded social media, reaction videos from tennis legends praising her poise were shared millions of times, and even casual sports fans found themselves invested in Alex Eala's story. She had captured something rare, a perfectly timed, universally relatable moment that resonated far beyond tennis. And while millions celebrated her rise, something even bigger was unfolding behind the scenes. The corporate world had noticed. Within 72 hours of the viral moment, her management team was overwhelmed with emails as Nike, Adidas, Puma, Rolex, Tag Heuer, Red Bull, Gatorade, Wilson, Yonex, and other global brands companies that typically took months to evaluate sponsorships rushed to secure meetings. These weren't small upgrades to existing deals but massive, multi-million-dollar endorsements, long-term partnerships, and global ambassador roles, the kind of contracts usually reserved for Grand Slam champions, and Olympic medalists, and Alex hadn't even cracked the top 50 yet. What made the moment truly unprecedented was the speed. Brands don't usually move this fast. They analyze data, run market research, and project ROI over years. But this was different. Alex's viral moment delivered something money can't buy: authenticity. She wasn't manufactured or scripted. Her composure, her smile, her quiet confidence were real. In an era where audiences are skeptical of polished marketing, authenticity is the most valuable currency, and brands saw a rare opportunity to align with someone who felt genuine, relatable, and inspiring. Nike was reportedly the most aggressive, seeing in Alex what they once saw in Serena Williams, Naomi Osaka, and Coco Gauff, not just an athlete, but a cultural icon in the making. Sources close to the negotiations claimed Nike's offer included apparel, footwear, and a signature line with bonuses tied to Grand Slam performances and social media milestones. Adidas countered with a deal emphasizing her Filipino heritage, promising campaigns focused on representing Southeast Asia on the global stage. Rolex, famously selective with its athlete partnerships, viewed her composure under pressure as a perfect reflection of its brand values. And it wasn't just traditional sports giants circling tech companies wanted in too. A major smartphone brand approached her to front an Asia-Pacific campaign. A luxury skincare line saw her as the face of a Grace Under Pressure collection, and even non-endemic brands with no direct ties to sports scrambled to find ways to partner with her. The feeding frenzy was unlike anything her team had ever seen. It was unlike anything her management team had ever seen for a player at her level, and they knew they had to move carefully. Signing the wrong deal could pigeonhole her, and overexposure could dilute her brand, but the right partnerships could secure her financially for life and give her the freedom to focus entirely on tennis without stress. The pressure was immense, yet this time it was the good kind, the kind that comes from having options, from being wanted, from finally being seen. After years of grinding in obscurity, Alex Eala was suddenly in the driver's seat, with every major brand in the world wanting to come along for the ride. The question was no longer if she would sign major deals, but which one she would choose and how those choices would reshape her life forever. Not everyone, however, was celebrating. The backlash arrived just as quickly as the praise. As Alex's star rose, critics flooded the internet, dismissing her rise as manufactured hype, media manipulation, or a lucky viral moment that didn't reflect true talent. Tennis purists argued she hadn't earned this level of attention, that she hadn't yet won enough to justify the spotlight. She hadn't won a Grand Slam. She hadn't even captured a WTA title. So how, critics asked, could someone outside the top 100 command this much attention? The criticism was harsh and relentless. Former players weighed in, some subtly questioning whether the moment was being overblown, including one retired champion who remarked on a podcast, "Viral moments are great, but they don't win you majors. The real test is consistency." The implication was clear. Alex was being framed as a flash in the pan. Social media poured fuel on the fire, with threads dissecting her match record and stats highlighting losses to lower-ranked opponents, paired with captions like, "This is who brands are throwing millions at." Trolls came out in full force, and the attacks often turned personal. But Alex's fans pushed back just as fiercely. They flooded comment sections with messages of support, shared highlight reels of her best performances, and reminded critics that she was only 19, still developing, still learning. They argued that her composure under pressure was exactly the kind of mentality that creates champions. The tennis world became sharply divided, with some seeing her as the future and others dismissing her as overhyped. The debate raged across every platform, and paradoxically, it only made her more famous. Behind the scenes, however, the attention took a toll. In a rare, candid interview weeks later, Alex admitted, "I didn't expect this. I didn't ask for it. I just played my game and tried to stay calm. Now everyone has an opinion about me, and half of them don't even watch tennis." Her honesty was refreshing. She wasn't pretending to be unfazed. She openly acknowledged the pressure, the criticism, and the weight of sudden fame while making it clear she wasn't going anywhere. Her team moved strategically, carefully choosing which interview she would do, which brand she would align with, and how she would present herself publicly, knowing the backlash was part of the process. Every athlete who rises quickly faces it. Naomi Osaka did, Coco Gauff did, Emma Raducanu did, and the key was not letting it define her. So Alex stayed focused, kept training, and kept competing, and slowly her results began to back up the hype. A quarterfinal here, a semifinal there, her ranking steadily climbing. The critics didn't disappear, but their voices grew quieter. What the backlash truly revealed was something deeper. It wasn't really about Alex at all, but about how fame works now, how a single moment can change everything, and how social media has redefined what it means to be a star. Grand Slam titles and traditional rankings still mattered, but they were no longer the only path. Alex Eala had found a different door, and whether people liked it or not, she had walked through it. And today, she is no longer just a viral moment, she's a movement. The brand deals followed. Nike signed her to a multi-year contract with performance incentives that could make it one of the most lucrative in women's tennis. Rolex named her its youngest global ambassador, and a major Filipino conglomerate partnered with her to launch a grassroots tennis program. The viral moment didn't just open doors for Alex Eala, it gave her a platform she walked through with intention and purpose. Her ranking has climbed steadily. She's broken into the top 70 and is projected to reach the top 50 by year's end. More importantly, she's winning matches she once lost. The mental toughness that went viral wasn't a fluke, it has become her trademark. Opponents now know that when the pressure is highest, Alex thrives. Coaches around the world study her composure, and young players watch her matches not just for technique, but for mindset. She has become a case study in handling adversity. Her impact extends far beyond tennis. Back in the Philippines, she is a national hero. Kids wear her jersey, and courts that were once empty are now filled with young girls dreaming of becoming the next Alex Eala. She has inspired a generation to believe they, too, can compete on the world stage. Her story is a symbol of possibility, a proof that talent, hard work, and a moment of clarity can change one's trajectory. Critics still exist, but they have been forced to acknowledge that Alex is here to stay. She is not a one-hit wonder, not just a pretty face for brands to exploit. She is a real competitor with real skills and a real future. As she continues to improve, the narrative is shifting from "was she overhyped?" to "how far can she go?" the true sign of someone who has earned their place. Her team is planning for the long term. Grand Slam preparation, Olympic ambitions, and building a legacy that extends beyond rankings and titles. Alex combines talent, marketability, and cultural significance. She represents not only herself, but an entire region long underrepresented in tennis, and she does it with grace, grit, and the same smile that went viral for all the right reasons. Years from now, people will look back at this moment as the beginning of something much bigger. The moment Alex Eala stopped being a prospect and became a star, when global brands saw not just an athlete, but an icon, and when the world realized that sometimes it only takes 48 hours for everything to change. But the question remains, was this viral explosion a blessing, a burden, or both? And can Alex handle the pressure of becoming the face of an entire generation? Her story is far from over its only beginning. What started as a single moment on a tennis court has become a global phenomenon that transcends sport. Alex has proven that in today's world, talent combined with authenticity can create opportunities that didn't exist before. The brand saw it, the fans saw it, and most importantly, Alex saw it in herself. The road ahead won't be easy. Expectations are higher than ever, the pressure to deliver Grand Slam results, justify the hype, and carry the hopes of millions await few athletes experience at 19. But if there's one thing we've learned about Alex Eala, it's that pressure doesn't break her, it sharpens her. Her story is just getting started, and for those who want to witness more untold stories from women's tennis, the drama, the rivalries, and the moments that define careers, now is the time to pay attention.